Hello once again. It is moi. And this is the vlog, March 2020. We know what happened here. I've been teasing in all the videos, but I mean, it's no big surprise. This was the month of when COVID-19 began. And fucked up my shit and everybody else's. So, let's talk about it. I mean, in context with what we're doing with the point of this vlog, talking about artistic dreading and how the beginning of COVID affected staff and all that good stuff. So, oh man, I was thinking about how this vlog would begin, but geez, I mean, anyway, so as I said in the February vlog, if you haven't watched that, go back and watch that, where I talked about a bit of Love Your Mind, our mental health dance evening, which we held at Blue Elephant. This is the first, this was the first of our self-produced shows, and the last for a long time. We're hopefully doing some again. It's 2022, of course, but when I'm filming this, and hopefully we've got some self-produced stuff coming down the road, maybe. Hopefully I'm securing cash and all that stuff, because, you know, finally, hopefully we're coming out of all this COVID era. So, love to Dave in 2020. We're getting there, okay? Slowly but surely. But it's been a road, okay? But yeah, so we literally did the show on, actually, fun fact, we were meant to do it on the 20th of March, and lockdown was on the 17th, so we might have not done the show at all, but they were like, if possible, can we push it back to March 13th, because we wouldn't usually do this, because we are a bit superstitious, because something usually goes wrong on the 13th, because it was Friday 13th as well. In March 2020, when we did the show, and actually it went really well. In fact, we were very lucky because a whole pandemic happened the fucking next, like, we did that on the Friday, and then it was Monday, you know, we're in lockdown, and I'm in Scotland where I am now, and now I've been here for the last 2 years, not being able to return. Like, I lost my job, I lost my flat, basically. I mean, I was still paying off. Thankfully, I only had a few months left, and I didn't have to pay it for a while. My landlord was actually really good. He was actually one of the best landlords I probably had for my wee studio flat, and I used my furlough to pay that off, and then I remember all the pressures as well. I think I must have, you know, I definitely felt, I wonder if this comes up in any of my other vlogs, but just trying to, like, having done the Love Your Mind show, and since we're on the topic and all that sort of thing, and the stress of trying to get everybody paid that did the show, and God, stressful time, and I wouldn't be the only kind of, call me employer, if you will. I mean, technically I am, you know, but like, you know, freelance basis, you know, when I need stuff done, like every other kind of small time career for not full company, by the way, just to, if people weren't aware of that, I'm still a sole trader. I hire people here and there for one-off projects now and again. We don't have that dollar. Well, we had the momentum, and that's one of the things I'll talk about as well. You know, when I'm talking about we again, I know this is kind of my vlog, but it was, I'm talking about EQDC, my company, for those who aren't aware. Dance company that I have that does work around mental health, which makes sense to the mental health evening that we did, Love Your Mind. And I'm just looking at my notes. Had started what could have been a great job. Oh yeah, I also, the funny thing is, I left my job that I was not happy with anymore around about this time, and I got a new job on Valentine's Day, and I had this job for a month, and it was could have been a really good job, because it was like cabaret stuff. When COVID happened, we were doing like murder mystery dinners and all this sort of thing, so I was in this place where I was doing hospitality, which I do enjoy to a degree, and also kind of an artist thing. I was doing a bit of artist liaison, looking after artists, making sure they're fed and all that, so that was kind of cool. It's kind of these two worlds I was mostly working in coming together. I was like, oh, this is really cool. which lasted the whole month, and then eventually I left because I knew I was going to be made redundant at some point, which everybody then was. So I got it so I could just, try. So I just kind of help my dad out now, which is not a lot. I don't get a lot. It's lucky that I pay rent free. I'm very lucky to have that in my life. And be, with my dad and stuff. I mean, in the end, I think it was really good to be with my dad during lockdown. Rather than study flat in London, I'm asthmatic by myself. That would have been horrific. I know friends of mine who did that, and they did not have a great time. And God, we would fight so much. We're too alike sometimes. I mean, I am his son. But there's some personal stuff going on there. And then lockdown begins. How everyone's doing. It was and I think I was doing this for my own sanity, for just checking in with people, how everybody was doing, because that's just my nature. And I think there was a lot more focus on that, because at this point it's dance isn't going to be happening for a little bit, and I guess with Here the Vlog, I know we're 2 years and we're kind of hopefully on our way out now. I say it then, I say it now, regardless of what happens in the world. Myself or just the company, hey, hit us up. We don't bite, and we're happy to share and talk about things. I'd love to get your thoughts of your time over the pandemic. Maybe in the comments, or DM us, DM myself, because I think it's, maybe interesting look in retrospect, like I'm doing now by doing this vlog. Probably why I do it. So, and I've got 2 years kind of to think about when this thing began, and looking back at some of the stuff I was putting out. Talking about that, lockdown skills, everybody making sourdough, all these things. I was just learning languages that didn't last very long. I was trying to do Russian at the time in March, I think, or something like that. And all these other things. I picked up streaming again. I briefly talked about that in February, but then in the February vlog. But this is when, March, I was like, well, I can't fucking dance, can't do all these other things, I may as well pick up Twitch stream, because gaming is this other creative outlet. It was that thing of just trying to keep myself creatively nourished. And I already kind of knew what I needed to do to go about it, so I think this is really a great way to build it. And now my Twitch profile is growing a bit, and I'm getting close to affiliate, so being an affiliate with Twitch, so I mean, that's a journey in itself, and that might be a vlog someday. We even later on, again in other vlogs, we'll talk about how we integrated Twitch into some of the dance and company stuff that we did at EQ on an online basis when we can also be in theaters and stuff. So that was, I'll talk about that at some point. Dance wise, I did a lot more improvisation videos. I was really just I really got to do more of those because they're just fun to do, and also it just keeps me honest and keeps me going, because I'm actually starting to do more performance stuff and solo stuff because I'm having to, because when the money's isn't there like it was before the pandemic, gotta make do, gotta do more solo stuff to try and then fund the group projects and all these other things, then apply for Creative Scotland funding, which I did recently. It's been really tested out. I've wrote so many applications over the last 2 years. It has been something else, I tell you. I think I'm getting much better, even though I'm dyslexic as shit. I definitely feel like I've got better applications and getting a kind of feel of what works and what doesn't. And then, one of the things I did with the improv is get prompts for you guys, so that was fun. And really, I think what I'm feeling as I've been talking about in this particular vlog, and as we're getting to the kind of 10-minute crunch time that I try and give myself, which I always go over with these vlogs to give you some bite-sized content rather than the longer vlogs, which was really good actually. It was a bit of feedback I got from the vlogs over the period of lockdown when I was doing more of these and catching up, which obviously fell behind when things started opening up again. So, which is normal. Which is good, because then I was busy actually trying to do things again, rather than sitting in my room making vlogs. So nothing wrong with vlogs, but it's like trying to be active and trying to be like, when I do these vlogs, to actually be actioning some of the stuff I'm talking about, rather than just kind of, you know, making up. I'm not trying to, like, again, this is documentation. This is nothing to do with trying to be fancy, creative. As you can tell, guys, these vlogs aren't super family. I don't like effects and stuff. I don't afford that. I can't do that. And yeah, I don't have the know-how to do that yet. So I try and keep it very simple and try and then develop these vlogs if they pick up, you know what? So yeah, it really was kind of these, how do I feel? This month became the beginning of trying to search of how can I allow myself to be creative again when doing dance-based things and like in theaters and stuff wasn't viable because of COVID. And it was the start of this adventure to try and find these other creative outlets, and later on that would become D&D and these creative outlets, and actually really getting good of improv in terms of acting perspective, which D&D gives, like world building, creative, and then how that comes into what I do with Twitch and with some of my friends, like my long-term collaborator Josh as well, and with his friends at Post Sanity. They made a Twitch channel as well, and I do tabletop stuff with them. It's creative, and it's like a film, kind of mini film set that we build. That I mean, I didn't build it. I wouldn't know what to do these days in filming stuff for Twitch with the guys at one of their houses. So it's been really interesting perspective and to talk about. And I may as well say this as well, as I was just looking at my notes before I started filming, is by June 2020 vlog, we are going to be transitioning to a new setup with the vlogs. The Emergence series vlogs will end, because at this point, this in the last 2 years from June 20, well, 2 years from 2020, I feel it's not quite 2 years from 20, that doesn't really work. My brain is that I will be changing the vlogs by then, and we're gonna be calling it something like I don't know, I've got working titles like the transition series, but then I'm thinking that could be misconstrued as something else, which I don't want to do, because I think it could mean many other types of things. So I want to try and keep it specific to what we do. So the Emergence series, in this case for me, was an emerging artist. I was thinking of maybe Second Wind, second season. Well, that would just be like a second season, which it is. It would be like a second season if you want to call it. But the Emergence series and up to June 2020 would be roughly three or so years of these vlogs. They were very bitty with months in between, and then they become once a month, and they become a bit more frequent than that till I wasn't doing them for a long time, catching up. So yeah, and my whole point with this is trying to think of a kind of a second season, of course, but more to speak to this kind of transition period of going from I'm definitely not a graduate anymore, like early graduate, kind of this first early career. I'm still, I would say I'm still early career, but I am going towards that mid-career level, because at this point I've made a bit of money and stuff from some of the stuff I do, which is amazing, which I kind of like that push and that drive to try and make stuff happen, and with the extra time I had to actually make a little bit of money. It's still not a lot, don't get me wrong, but I'm in this for the process. To be an artist, I think it's hard to try and make money from being an artist is not easy, and there should be no illusion to that, and I'm all about being understand it's not going to be easy at all. It could take you a while. You have to do it for the process. You obviously need enough money to look after yourself and feed yourself and pay rent, and maybe that is you do these creative outlets, and that's how I've approached it. But I mean, I'm just documenting. I'm not telling you go do that. That might not work for you, but for me, having these things, I'm always like tasting things. I'm always wanting to do other things in creative outlets, and then how they bring it in. And Twitch, we use for EQ stuff and events that we did. And that's part of my gaming world that has come together. You know what I mean? So it's during this time and being online and all these other things I was doing like super part-time, even before the pandemic. You never know when it's going to become handy. So be curious, be convicted, you know, but at the same time, be practical, you know, so yeah, don't knock it. If you find something that was exciting, you know, it'd be interesting. What was your lockdown skill you tried to obtain or did obtain? And what thing have you picked from the pandemic that you now have brought into as we exit it? That'd be interesting. Let me know in the comments, DM. I am way over time, as per usual. I'm gonna see you guys later. That's the March vlog. I will see you for April 2020 vlog next time. Take care.